I I just wanted to point out why I think strikes are good for the country. We know there's always an outcry uh, whenever workers go on strike, and as is happening now with the rail workers. And usually by the media, there's a big outcry, uproar from the mainstream media and from those in charge of the country. But it always amazes me why ordinary workers have to go cap in hand to get a few pennies rise, and probably have to beg for a little rise to get a few pennies to feed their families, especially today when we're in a cost of living crisis. Yeah, Boris Johnson himself said he wants a high wage economy. Okay, so what has he done to help the rail workers get a rise to be able to feed their families today? Not a thing. And just to point out that MPs are in receipt of inflation busting pay rises, while they resist attempts by ordinary workers to get a little bit of, or a few pennies rise to help feed the families in the cost of living crisis. I didn't see any outcries against the MPs when they got their rises. And it's also been revealed that somebody wrote a letter, some MP wrote a letter to the Chancellor saying that the city buses pay restrictions should be lifted. So those that are earning the most in society should get even more. And yet in the same breath, they're crying and moaning that ordinary people are striking or threatening to go on strike to get a few pennies rise. Hypocrite comes to mind. Hypocrisy, total hypocrisy, and it's always been the same in this country. Not a murmur from the mainstream media about lifting the wage restrictions on city buses. Not a murmur, not a big headline. But as soon as ordinary people go on strike, you have the big headlines, holding the country to ransom, blah blah blah. You can't make it up, can you? The hypocrisy that goes on in this country against working people. And yet there we are all the time moaning and groaning that we can't feed our children, we can't heat our homes, we're struggling to pay our bills. Yet as soon as somebody takes some action, we condemn them. What is wrong? What is wrong with you people? Where is the outcry against the rich getting more money, more millions, more bonuses on top of their extravagant wages? So this is why I'm saying that strikes are good for the country, because if we have to take action like this to make our lives better, to be able to feed our families, heat our homes, pay the bills, then it's got to be a good thing. If the people have more money to spend, then that's going to benefit the economy. But we don't look at it that way, do we? We look at it as we're holding the country to ransom. Oh, inflation's going to shoot up. Inflation's already shooting up. And it's got nothing to do with strikes. So that is another deflection from the government to mislead people to think that it's the workers' fault. It's this group of workers, that group of workers holding the country to ransom. Deflection, yeah, They're good at deflection, aren't they? We well know that. We well know that. So strikes are good for the country, is my argument. If we've all got more money to spend, we're going to spend more money in the system. So what's wrong with that? Can anybody explain to me what is wrong with that notion? I don't see anything wrong with that. So, but the outcry from the MPs and those so-called leaders of institutions that we shouldn't be asking for pay rises, such as the head of the Bank of England, who was on £500,000 a year, I believe, plus bonuses, I think, I don't know. Yeah, we shouldn't be asking for pay rises, according to him and many others. But this is what's holding the economy back, isn't it? Surely? If we don't have more money to spend in our pockets, then we ain't going to spend it. So they can't have it always, can they? Strikes are good for the country.